Hello and welcome to Coffee Conversations. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and we are live at the International Roofing Expo on the soundstage sponsored by SRS. And you know what Coffee Conversations is. It's the conversation that's all about roofing. And we're going to hear what's going on from experts in the field, roofing companies from across the country who are really going to share what they're seeing, what our challenges are, and what the successes of 2026 look like. So let's get started. I'm so excited for this panel. They are absolutely amazing. We are going to start with Jules.
Yes.
Can you introduce yourself? Tell us about your business.
Yes. Yeah. So I am Jules DeCourcy. I am based out of Rochester, Minnesota. We do roofing, siding, windows, doors, and I work for Allcraft Exteriors up in the cold tundra.
Tell us a little bit about Allcraft.
Yeah. So Allcraft specializes in roofing, but we really do retail side of things. We do storm, multifamily, commercial, and a little bit of government work too.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for taking time. Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Hello, Tim Garrison, Peoria, Illinois is our headquarters. I currently live in Florida, so we're also working in
Nice.
Sarasota area. But we're multi-states. We go all over for commercial. We're 23 years, 24 years in business.
I love it.
So yeah, I've learned a few things and started from nothing. Had no roofing experience when we started, and everything.
There
there's
you
not
are.
a roof out there that we can't do.
And you're smart enough that you have a winter location and
Yeah,
you
right.
have a winter location
I love that.
or summer and winter, however that works.
We can work year round.
Yeah.
Literally.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's
I
like
love
7
it.
degrees there today, I think, or something.
Oh, it's a
Yes.
little bit
I think
nicer
everywhere is
here.
cold
A
today.
little bit nicer.
Absolutely.
And Sarah, introduce yourself,
I'm
please.
Sarah Sutton Schaus with Raincoat Roofing in Chicago. We are a commercial and residential contractor, and if you need it, we'll do it. We're a specialty contractor. We do a lot of the high-rise, steep slope, slate tiles, a lot of specialty work. So it's a wonderful company. I'm really proud to be there. And I'm the director of service ops.
Yes. And Sarah has also been very active in National Women in Roofing. We've worked a lot together in Chicago. So yeah, so exciting. Thank you so much. And Ashley, I'm so excited that you're here. I remember when we first met last year, and I love the name of your company.
Thank you.
I know, it's so great. So can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your company.
My name is Ashley Moss. I am the owner and president of Mrs. Roof Pros.
I love
So
that.
I know my husband and I actually started this company fairly recently, just in the middle of last year. So we are a residential and commercial roofing contractor out of Greenville, South Carolina. And like you said, we pretty much do everything, and we really have a focus on the design side because we do have a professional designer on staff. So we like to bring
cool.
design and all of that into all of our projects. So.
Yeah. That is so awesome. Well, thank you. And I just want to remind everybody that every year at the IRE, we have 2 coffee conversations. On the first day, we have our esteemed contractors. So we're going to hear from them.
Thank you, Heidi.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to hear from them what's going on. And then tomorrow, we're going to have manufacturers, distributors, service providers. We're going to see if they are saying the same thing, if they're keeping up with their contractors.
I think they're as fun as the contractors.
No.
I agree.
Sorry.
I'm kidding. I love you all.
Personal. Yeah. No, but this is fun. So let's actually, speaking of manufacturers and everything that's going on, let's just start with the show. I mean, this IRE, walking in, I was pretty excited about our sound stage. I walked into the show floor. I couldn't believe some of the booths and what all is going on. So, Jules, let's start. What are you seeing kind of, I know it's just started, but so far, what are some of your highlights of this 2026 IRE?
Yeah, I think, the one thing I always every year get out of IRE, it's all the new innovative things that are happening, right? So the minute you walk in this door, and I don't even know this year, somebody probably knows it, how many miles of expo floor there is, right?
Yeah.
But I love to be able to go to the booth and see what's new, what's upcoming, what's happening, right? It gives you really good insights into making good business decisions too, because you're like, oh, if this is coming down the pipeline, maybe in a different state, eventually, if it's a Midwest state, right? Eventually, maybe it's going to come to us. Like, how do we start thinking about it now?
Right.
And I think IRE is really good for that the
Yeah.
innovative thoughts.
Yeah, and being able to kind of see what is everybody else doing, what are the manufacturers coming out with, because
You're right.
they
Yes.
really do keep a touch with the contractors and what their needs are, and so it
Yeah.
kind of gives you that opportunity. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Tim, what are you seeing out there?
Well, I must admit right now, we got in very late last night, had a lunch meeting already with a potential client. That was a great meeting and got over here just in time. So I can tell you, based off what she's talking about, I love the IRE for that many. I mean, this many years I've been coming,
Yeah,
adding to what we're building relationships, whether it's, vendors, other contractors. So always excited to see what's on the floor. We never stop learning. We're
Oh.
always trying to figure out what's better, what can help my team. That's what we pride ourselves, making sure they have the best tools and equipment and softwares that are out there.
and especially right now with all the technology that's out there, there's just a lot, and not just technology software, but technology in all the equipment and
Oh.
technology in some of the
Right. True.
products. It's wild. I
Yeah.
know.
So
For
there's
sure.
like some suspense. You're gonna get to go in there after
I
this.
know,
and
right?
just
Yeah. I'm
know.
hearing a little bit about
Yeah,
what this looks
I
like
know.
in there, and obviously it's a big one. I know we're next to the concrete
Yeah.
World of Concrete show, and
Oh yeah.
that's like usually 4X. So we'll see.
Massive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're over there too at World of Concrete with Soundstage. We'll have coffee conversations over there tomorrow. But I have to tell you, Tim, I'm kind of honored that we were your first stop.
Very first, that was
Yeah.
lunch meeting was unplanned, and then I said yes, I'll make it, and here I am.
And there you are.
I love it.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So Sarah, you got here a little bit early.
I did.
You've
I
been
did.
here a
I went
couple
to some of
days.
the educational seminars this morning.
Yeah. So talk to us about what's been some of your favorite things so far.
The software, my goodness, there's
I know.
so much software. Obviously I'm partial to Dataforma, that's our CRM. But there is just software for everything now,
Yeah.
things that you wouldn't even expect there to be. And every time I turn around, I think I probably noticed more of the software technology piece than even the material piece. And I look at the material very closely
Yeah.
when I'm here. But wow, I almost don't know where to decide which software I want to look at. What thing do I want to start? And after this is when I'm really going to get in there and start talking to people. So.
Okay. Yeah, and all the integrations. How does it all
So
work
yeah, the
together?
That's a big
automations.
question,
Yeah.
right? That's something that
Fantastic.
we're working on right now with Raincoat Roofing,
Yeah.
and it is a big piece of that. There's so many different softwares, but they've got to talk to each other.
Sure.
They
They've got
do.
to talk to each
They
other.
do. It's so important. Okay. So what
Well,
have you been seeing?
Speaking of that, it's like that led perfectly into what we did because I actually had an appointment this morning with our CRM provider in there
Okay.
because I have been trying to create a different back workflow from what they are naturally designed to do. And they were like, oh, we can make that work for you.
Yeah.
So it was great because I was actually able to come in here, meet with one of their tech, techies, and she was able to help walk me kind of through, yes, you're
Cool.
doing this right. Here's where you might find a glitch. Maybe we could help you work it this way because we are trying to really integrate a lot of that interior design, exterior design, and I needed another way to tie that into the roofing
Love
side of
it.
it.
I love
So it was
it.
fantastic because how awesome is that to be able to come here and get that hands-on when
Right.
I've been doing so many like FaceTime calls,
Yeah.
right?
I know.
And I'm like, I love it. I can see you, but I would love to see something with an actual
Yeah.
hands-on.
In
So
You can't
person.
have the battle. Like you've got to
Yes.
know what you want it to do, even if
Correct.
the software isn't going to be the piece that tells you this is how we work. You got to be able to say this is what I want and this is how I want us to get there.
Yes.
It's their job to make it happen. So
Right.
And they
you
are,
got to know what you're
it's
looking for.
amazing
I
what
know.
they can do now. And like
Yeah.
you were saying, everything integrates so well together now
Yeah.
that we can have so many different softwares all tying everything together. It makes it so much easier
Yeah.
for us.
It's
So,
really changing, and you know what? This is going to kind of take us right into we want to
Mhm.
really talk about the questions and the things that are happening this year. So since we've already started it, let's keep going with technology. I mean, it is changing the face of business, and I would just as you're looking, Ashley, to
Mhm.
figure out what you need to do for your business, what are some of the key points that you're seeing, especially going into 2026?
Definitely AI.
Yeah.
The technology side of
100%.
things,
Yeah.
utilizing AI,
Can't
because
emphasize
our
enough.
customers are demanding quicker response times, right? They want
You're
to have
right.
that communication and they want it constantly. And
Yeah.
as our homeowners are getting younger too, that they are also used to that. They're used to having that quick interface conversation. Where are we at? So we are utilizing our CM software going, how else can you also add that AI in, part into it? So
Right.
if I can't answer the phone, what other tools can I use to make that connection with that potential customer? So
Yeah.
that's what we're really
Speed
focusing
to
on.
lead.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Big
think
part of it.
one of my concerns, obviously, I'm kind of a bottleneck on new stuff that comes through the business because I want to make sure that it's, I want to believe in it and know it's going to work. So AI, the biggest concern is, yes, we know we need it. Yes, and I think so many of us contractors are committing to, oh yeah, we want AI. Now you got a lot of legwork to vet and a lot of due diligence phase to make sure that you're not releasing, because once you turn some of that stuff on,
Correct.
it can really screw things
Oh
up, and
yeah.
especially when you're talking
Oh
about
yeah.
CRMs.
Yes.
So that's a huge concern, and
There
it's
almost
funny.
still has to be a filter
There
Absolutely.
of
you
what
yes.
AI gives
Yeah.
you to put out.
Yeah.
The you mentioned bringing, I literally everyone that I brought, almost every one of them have something with software to go get answers on. So my
Right.
estimator who uses PlanSwift,
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you'll learn more from the PlanSwift guys they have on the floor, because they're going to have their master user. Of course, it's going to look
Sure.
super simple, and you're going to learn. I'm a hands-on, lean over the
Correct.
shoulder. I'm gonna see a lot more. So
Go do
that is
that.
literally, I called it. I haven't been in. We all know that, but I call it Tech Corner, like the whole
Yeah.
side. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's where you start, and you're going to get your answers. And
Yes.
I was with that Forma since '09.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
so
Okay.
I've seen softwares all as they grow. So
Wow. Yeah.
I
I
love it.
I have just a slightly different point with technology, right? So I think, as you had mentioned, these newer homeowners are coming into the market, right?
Mhm.
And most of their research has already been
Been
done when
done.
you get to the door.
Correct.
So I think
Absolutely.
the
Correct.
face-to-face table conversations where you're trying to educate your homeowner on, hey, this is what this roof is, this is what I think all of that research has already been done, right? And so if we're not training our staff, our salespeople, for relationship building rather than the product, right? And
Right.
it's still important they know those things. But I think when you step into that home, they don't need your 45-hour long
Correct.
conversation with coffee at the table. What they need is a very quick or completely digital experience,
Yes.
right? So I think for companies right now in the roofing industry, if you're not looking into speed to lead and the ability to book appointments online,
Correct.
and you're instant answering those appointments that they're trying to book or inquiries on
Yeah.
your website, I think you're going to fall behind.
Well, and like you were saying, utilizing those digital tools that the manufacturers have, those visualization tools,
Yes.
using it's like keeping it digital because they are interested in
They
seeing
are.
that and what are you going to bring, and for us too, we're finding that they're really wanting us to really listen to what their needs are, what are their wants as well. So it's because
Yeah.
you're right, they already know so much. They
Yeah,
have
right.
everything right there. So
Well, yeah,
it's
that younger consumer,
yes,
It
they
is.
they don't want to have that conversation. They want the answer that they're looking for
Yes.
correct.
when they come to you for it.
Right.
So
Right.
Yes.
it's definitely something to be contended with in the market
Well,
today.
and I think it's interesting. In fact, I want to follow up on that with all of you because I have had this theory that it's not just the Gen Zs or the millennials who are
Mhm.
expecting a fully
Yes.
digital experience.
Yes.
They've actually taught their parents,
Yes.
the Gen
Yes.
Xers, to expect
Yeah.
the same thing.
They are. I think the generational gaps in technology are getting less and less because
Yeah.
technology just is here. It's not going anywhere. So I think you're right in that even if my parents are going to sit down at the kitchen table, I don't know that they want to anymore.
No.
Right.
I don't know that they want somebody at their door, right? And I think also, the pandemic did that a little bit too. Like
Correct.
people didn't go to your door, and we relied heavily on technology, which advanced the technology sector, right? And now there's no pulling back.
No, you're not
Technology
gonna
is
go
not
back.
So
going
good.
anywhere.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much I love hearing you guys all say this because it's been kind of my mantra for a while that I think you're right since COVID.
Yeah.
It's been my mantra that how we sell is going to change.
For
And-
sure.
Correct.
And it's just going to have to go through Tim.
Well, I think, especially with homeowners, and even I'm guilty of it. AI can be so accurate sometimes
Correct.
on what you're looking for. So I could look up how to, change a battery on a BMW, specialty car, and
Mhm.
so you kind of know what you want already. And of course, when you don't want to offend them, but hey,
Right.
those decisions may already be made as far as like
Right.
options and things like that.
Yes.
They've kind of looked at, what's the pros and the cons. So a lot of that education
Correct.
that we used to do for them, especially in the residential side, is
Mhm.
you have to know, that you're walking into that. So
What's
We
good?
were just talking about that before we came
Mhm.
on here.
Yeah.
It really truly is crazy.
Yeah.
It's at our fingertips.
How
They
Yes.
already know.
realistic
Yes.
Everything is
AI
just
is.
so
They know.
accessible. And it makes it really, really hard to even have a sales pitch. It makes it really, really hard to even try to convince someone that they need the product you're selling because they already know.
Yeah.
They already know.
and it may
Instant
be false,
answers.
Yeah.
maybe false confidence that they have,
It's almost like
because
it's almost
they've
like
been
they're
misled.
testing you.
Yeah.
Like what answer are you gonna give me?
Right.
You know, and
This
you're
is
like,
what I
wait,
read.
you're like,
This is
wait, it's
true.
not.
May-
You told me.
I know.
Yes.
Maybe we should have our sales reps studying AI and the responses,
Right.
like
Hey,
literally,
you
Well,
might
I
have
think
like
some
there is
studying,
actually.
Part
you know,
of that. It's a thing. There are sales programs now that run
have to know.
everything through AI, and you
Correct.
can have that like back and forth conversation. So AI is already
Sure.
changing the way we sell.
Yes.
In a big, big
Mm.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you said it earlier. You're training on relationship building.
Yes.
Because if people already kind of done the research, they know the product, they've done the research on your company, that looked at your
Yes.
past projects and stuff like that. Now they just need to have that trust in that person that they like them. And I think that's
Yes.
part of
Yes.
roofing is we're a likable bunch, and they want to. A homeowner wants to like this person before they open their doors
Yes.
and
Yeah.
make sure.
And that's where we're finding, and I don't know if I'm not going off on another,
Yeah.
tangent here, but that's why we're finding it so important to really build our brand, our story, and come
Yes.
across as very authentic. And like we were talking about too, social media, we have to be on it.
Yeah.
You've got to utilize it.
Yeah.
And so it's how can I build that trust with that homeowner even before they ever meet you? Because we've gone to a door and they're
Yes.
like, oh, I already know all about you. I read everything online about you. I'm all, okay, great.
Awesome.
So
Let's
let's
do
go.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
do
it's
this.
true. It is.
Yeah.
It
yes.
is that building
Yeah.
that relational side of
Mhm.
it, which is
Well, I think
almost
when you build that too, you're not just going there to do their roof one time.
correct.
The next time they need a home service that you provide, you're going to
Yes.
be their call if you've built that
Yes,
relationship.
that trust.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to build,
Yes.
that
And
trust
you
where they
have
feel
to make it
comfortable.
easy.
Yeah.
You have to make it easy.
Yes.
No homeowner, no consumer of any kind is going to jump through hoops when there's a dime a dozen roofers on the street.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
Gotta make it easy.
Trust, ease of use. And once you have that trusted contractor, why would you want to go looking anywhere else?
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
right?
That is
Yeah.
exactly
It
the
just takes a
goal.
lot of time
Yeah.
Yeah.
and effort. And so,
Yeah.
okay, one of the things I want to kind of follow up a little bit on this, and you mentioned it, branding your company. You guys, oh, the branding is so phenomenal. Just walking through the show, but
Mhm.
I think we're talking a lot about also differentiating your business. And that is actually, to your point, to all of your point, bringing something to the homeowner that maybe they didn't think about.
Correct.
And we just had Velux on here. So is that skylights? Is
Mm.
that, fortified? Is that the different things that really make contractors or homeowners kind of go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And being able to add and build your profit from that, right? Different things. So let's start with you actually just kind of because you're going, yeah.
Well, I mean,
we're doing
it's-
that.
because that is really what our focus was for our company is we wanted to add that extra design element, right?
Yeah.
Add something else that the homeowner can say, wait a second, not only can I put a roof on my home to protect my home, I can make it look different. I can make it look unique. I can add more style. I can change the look of the exterior of my home. And that's the other part. It's I want to be able to offer, hey, you want to come and call us because we can help change the gutters. We can help change the siding of your home. We can
Right.
help get you with a good deck person. We can
Right.
all those types of things. And so that's where we're really focused on is really bringing that design style to it because the manufacturers have created phenomenal products
Sure,
nowadays.
yes.
My word, there's so many options
Yes.
for homeowners now.
Yes.
It's
so
actually
cool.
fun
It
now.
is so fun.
And it's
And you're like,
never
oh,
thought it.
I never thought of those two color
Yeah.
combinations. Like,
Oh,
that's
correct.
amazing.
Or, or two different actual like metal with the asphalt shingle or something.
Yes.
It's very different.
Oh.
And so that's what makes it a little more fun
The
finally. I think.
textures.
Yes.
That's so fun.
going back to technology, the things you can do for with Sherwin-Williams
Yes.
right now, if you
Oh, my
want
word.
to match your roof to your siding, to your doors, to your paint,
Yeah.
To your
to all those
modified,
things,
yes.
all that,
Yes.
they help you do that and
Really?
through their paints. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really cool. Go by the Sherwin-Williams booth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It
tell
is
them Heidi
really
sent
cool.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, having a count there. We're good.
I know. I love it. I love it.
No.
Okay, talk, Sarah, and I'm gonna have you lift your microphone just a little bit. Perfect, Sarah. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing on the commercial side of really differentiating yourself and being there for those customers.
So the biggest thing that I'm going to say Eric in particular at my company
Yeah.
preaches is to find out what everybody else is doing and you do it different. You know, we really try to
Right.
go to our customers and meet them at their level and find out what are you looking for? What is your problem? What is the piece that we are here to help you with and how can we do that? And we really just try to make sure that it's not a bid, a proposal.
Yeah.
I got you, no problem. Yeah, we'll be out there. You know, we really try to commit to giving our customers the right information the first time when they call in. And it really is just trying to break that mold and not approach them the same way you do every other customer because I'm not going to buy from you if you come at me and it's
Right.
all right, you're another customer. I want to sell this to you. Do you want to buy it? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, how are you?
Yes.
What's going on in your life? How can I
Yes.
relate to you to try to sell you this thing? You know, is it even something you need? Right?
Right.
Because
Right.
it's just as important to sell, but it's also important to know who you're selling to, right?
Yeah.
You want it to be somebody who can use the product you're trying to give them or the service you're trying to give them, not somebody that's just
Well,
there for
that helps make you look better.
right.
You know,
Right,
and
exactly.
he makes you
It's
more
genuine, yeah,
trustworthy.
absolutely.
Correct.
I think it's the whole like no customer, even us as customers, right? If you call any of your vendors, you don't want to be a number.
No.
Right.
You don't want to feel
No.
like you're bothering them
Yeah.
when they pick up the
Yes.
phone, because I can tell you from experience when that happens. I start to look elsewhere,
Right.
right? So
Yeah,
what
immediately.
do our customers do
Right.
if they feel like they're bothering us or not
Right.
getting that sort of relational
Well, I'll
experience
go someplace
every
else.
time? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
shopping.
And we don't want shoppers.
No.
We want people who are going to commit.
things.
and
Well,
stay,
loyal
you know, and that's up to
customers.
the contractor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's up to
Yes.
the
Well, and
contractor.
I know how much service and maintenance you guys do. You do
Yes.
a ton, and that really
It's
kicks.
hard.
And I
It's
think
hard.
it's a trend
Mhm.
more and more because of obviously profitability, but
Yeah.
also because it does confirm those relationships.
Mhm.
And if you're
Absolutely.
doing service and maintenance, you're most likely gonna be the one come back to do the re-roof or
Yeah.
the restoration or whatever.
Yeah. And what we see a lot in our market is we've got a handful of customers. They don't want to think about it. They
Right.
don't even want your response in a text message. They just want to know that you see that text message and it's done. It's taken care of.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's all done.
Yes.
What are you seeing, Tim?
So I would say, without even some of this knowledge, just kind of reaffirming what I'm doing with my residential team, which is just Illinois is the only place we're doing residential and some.
Right.
Spending more time with the customer and without even really, like I said, a lot of this helps solidify what I kind of wrote up for them was I want to see more time spent with the customer going over options. I don't care if
Yeah.
it, you know,
Yeah.
why not just look at everything? A lot of people, you never know what interest rates are going to do or whatever. So I don't know, I'm not saying everybody's going to be staying in their homes, but it's not going to hurt to spend the time. We all know that spending time with the customer is building trust, and they're going to buy from you. I always tell my sales guys, they're buying from you, not from River City Roofing. They're buying from you.
Yes.
Great advice.
Obviously, I give you a platform and a great foundation to sell them. So I think spending more time with going over options because, like you said, we really don't need to educate them. Let's go over real live options. And another thing I do with my residential guys is I do try and show them, more than ever, we don't want to be the lowest price. We're not shopping. If it's a
Yeah.
price
Yes.
conversation,
Yes.
I can show you 10 reasons, and we're having in our iPads to show you 10 things that are going to cost you 10% of this roof when I come back and fix it.
Right.
So we have
Yeah.
the name, we can build on that. As far as my commercial, I can tell you absolutely without a doubt is building subject matter experts on my team, whether it's partners or full-time employees.
Mhm.
And that means for our, large commercial properties, property management groups, we're going to have a team. If you have a storm damage, we have, we're not storm chasers, but we certainly have a team that's going to help you.
Yeah. You
But
have to.
as far as CapEx, maintenance, the other things that I don't know, I feel like everyone we were kind of talking about, the new generation, they're going through AI. Everybody wants now. but also everybody kind of wants to know stuff is taken care of. So if we, maybe we collaborate,
Yes.
let me know who figures it out first, because I
Yeah.
want to figure out how we can, have a membership to where, hey, you're first in line, a storm hits, or and
Oh,
suddenly,
System.
yeah, so now, so they already, because everyone kind of, think about it, our phones, we know who we're going to call. Like
Right.
you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
Yes.
and no matter what it is,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
move. I just moved to Florida last year, so it's like I'm
Yeah.
building that Rolodex of who is my guy for,
correct.
Yes.
whether it's
Which
lawn care.
project? Which? Yeah.
So
Right.
everybody wants their guy. So I think we
Yeah.
need to realize that residential and commercial, that they really don't want to call a bunch of numbers. We need
No.
to build that
They
trust.
don't. They
Yeah.
build a trust. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
it.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would echo what everyone said, really.
Yeah.
The one thing I would add that we encourage our team to do is we have this like mantra in the office: get caught doing the right thing, right?
Ah.
Because
Good. I like,
like
that.
that.
like
I like
let's
that.
go back to the technology for 1 second. What door doesn't have a Ring camera? Right?
Yes.
Or some sort of camera. So they're literally watching you before you're even out of your
Yes.
sales
Yes.
vehicle.
Right.
They're,
And listening.
and listening.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah.
if you see a piece of trash in the yard and it happens to be in the view of the Ring camera, pick it up.
Yeah.
Get caught doing the right thing. Like we don't do it just for the view, right?
Right.
Right.
Correct.
But the more you do that, like the
It
neighbor
builds
sees
that.
that and they're like,
Right.
oh, Allcraft is wow, like my neighbor wasn't
Integrity.
even home, right?
Yeah.
Right.
To know there's
Or-
integrity. For
or
sure.
Yes.
It was a slow day at the
I love
office.
that.
And so somebody went out to a couple of the job sites and just helped clean up because it was a windy day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like
great.
our one of the biggest things to differentiate, I think, is making sure you're doing the right thing even when people aren't looking.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So true.
So I think, that building the relationship is extremely important. But I think also like you're building your brand with every logo that you're sending out the door. And are
Yes.
they doing the right thing even when people aren't looking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You know?
I
Yeah.
love that. We have on River Scout Shop, we have Caught Doing Good,
Yes.
where we publish
Aw.
your stories, your
Nice.
Yes.
give
Yes.
backs, all those kind of things. So I love that. Caught
Yes.
doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's
Yeah, that's so
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of switch gears just a little bit. I want to talk about economy. We've got a lot going on out there with the economy, and I think we keep getting a lot of stuff thrown at us.
Yes.
So as small businesses, I'm a small business. We're all small businesses here,
Mm.
some larger than others. But how are we? What are you looking at for 2026? So just a little bit of crystal ball. Like, what are you seeing? Backlog? Is it looking good? And what are some of the things you're doing in your business to just risk mitigation, right? Just to be kind of ready for the little bit of the roller coaster that we've been
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
I think for us, we're starting to look at some of those. A good question that came out. I'm part of ECA, so Exterior Contractors Alliance, and we had a great meeting yesterday. And one of the questions that came out that we're really pondering throughout our company today is if we have another year in the Midwest like 2025, how do I boil the business down to the necessities and be able to scale and build from there if I have the exact same year? Because I think sometimes in these big storm years,
Yeah.
you just go wild. And then
Yes.
you look back and you're like, wow, that was great and profitable.
Yeah.
Right. But I think just as much as it's important to look at what you did during the up years, it's looking at, and last year the entire industry was down. It was a
Right.
low storm year.
Yes.
If you're 100% retail, maybe you didn't feel it as much, but I think even the retail people did. I think we felt it on commercial. I think commercial slowed way down. And then I do think commercial is going to start to come back after Q1 just based on some of the economy things,
Oh yeah. There's some
that
hope
are
there moving
happening.
forward.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of bubbling there, but I honestly think, if you had a down year last year and you're not looking at, okay, let me plan for if I have this again, or what am I doing to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah.
Right.
And some of that on the insurance side, like you can't control.
Yes.
There's you can control an upgrade, you can sell an upgrade on an insurance job, you can do those things, but you can't really control that, right? But on the retail side, is there more pieces of the pie that you're not getting? Do you need more salespeople? What is your
What do you
business?
need?
And
Yeah.
that's where, boiling that down and really looking and saying, okay, where are we at and what do we need?
Yeah. I love that. I think it's so important for every business. Tim, what are you seeing?
Oh, so I think you just kind of went into being fiscally responsible, top grading, things that we all have to look at when you're having a down year. Um, I'm a huge fan of delayed gratification, and
Mm.
obviously being responsible for our team. I've been very proud of that to make sure that we're always going to be stable. One of my mentors, actually this group here, he says, if you're having a record year, stay paranoid. 51% needs to stay paranoid on what's next year bringing.
Right.
How am
Yeah.
I going to lose it? Someone's coming for that top spot, whatever it is. You need
Mm.
to stay on edge, and that's how all industry leaders, no matter what they're doing. Um, I will say a few years ago, another thing that, and I'll drop it for you guys and anyone out there, we started our own warranty company.
Mm.
So we now put, commercial 10 cents a square foot. We're putting, a certain number for every residential goes into
Uh-huh.
our own warranty company. Um, that can be, borrowed against, borrowed from. We
Sure.
Yeah.
control it, and it sets there. It also gives our customers a huge peace of mind that workmanship, I may not have to deal with the manufacturer.
Right.
You're dealing with us, and we're the ones making the calls. So, and,
Mm.
and you're just gonna obviously, I know you track your service calls well, but sometimes when you're doing a ton of complete roofs, service just falls in.
Yeah.
It's just cost of doing business, right?
Yes,
Like
it is.
you're just going out like,
Go
yeah,
fix
Right.
it.
is
Yeah.
there something wrong? Fix it. Now I'm like, track that. We need to
Yes,
get paid
yeah,
from my
yeah.
warranty
Right.
company
Wait, hold
because
on.
obviously it needs to.
It's a big
So
undertaking.
yeah, actually my warranty guys are here for the first time. They're on the floor, so I'm anxious to see them.
Nice.
But it's kind of a new thing that I think is going to be huge for people that obviously want to keep their, you have to be stable,
Right.
Yes.
and you can't spend everything.
Nope.
It's interesting because we had, it'll be interesting to see if it's the same company, but we're kind of talking to a company that's doing the warranty for just like in the
They're
automobile
from
industry,
Buckeye.
right?
Is it Jason?
Yeah.
Jason
Yes.
at Buckeye, yeah.
Yeah.
My brother's in the car business, so you may thank
Oh,
me for
yeah.
him being here.
Yes.
So literally, we
He
shared
did
an
it right
office
here. Yeah.
in 2015. We started 17. We started talking about this, and he
Wow.
got to work on it because we pay for warranties.
Right.
That's a fact,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
also pay for repairs, and it just is a cost of doing business because we're good contractors, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure our jobs stay perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started
Well,
working on it his first
we'll
year
be
here.
coming back on that because we may
Oh,
be looking at doing a webinar to explain how the whole system works. So
Yeah.
okay.
there's
Wow.
something new to think about
There
for
you
the
go.
new year.
Yes.
I love
Absolutely.
it.
I love
Sarah,
that.
what are you guys at Raincoat looking at for 2026 around the economy? I mean, are you seeing steady work? Any
With,
changes?
we had a big winter, and usually that kind of starts the beginning of the year off well when you close the end of the previous one off.
Yeah.
And it helped us really kind of maintain our backlog to go into the next year. That being said, we are seeing more mindful spending. We're seeing a lot of people who are really conscious about what are they getting for their buck.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for contract or commercial as well as residential, especially residential, right?
You're
The
right.
homeowners want to know.
Yes.
And like Tim said, they want options.
Right.
They want that good, better, best. They want to know that this is the option we're going to give you. But if this isn't the one for you, let me know what you need, and maybe we can give you an alternative.
Yeah. What kind of value can you bring?
Yeah, I really do
Yes.
think, mindful spending is probably the thing that I anticipate most going into 2026 is people
Right.
are going to be counting their pennies.
And
Yeah.
what are you doing as a business to kind of address that?
We're really pushing for like sustainability in our monthly goals. We want to make sure that we can hit that number every month, regardless of the market, regardless of what's going on. And that has a lot to do with the backlog, that has a lot to do with the way we sell and the type of selling we do. And I think a lot of that, and like I would guess any other contractor is going to say, it's that preventative maintenance market. It's getting
Yeah.
ahead of it, and it's finding those things that can sustain you in the low periods so that you're not running on zero. That way
Yeah.
you don't find yourself, up the creek and not have any work, not have any way to get work, and
Yeah.
shut down.
Yeah, and I'm going to come back. I want to, for all of you, because another thing I've been kind of excited about for many years, but I feel like it's just finally starting to get going, is service and maintenance or preventative maintenance for residential.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That I think has such, because then you have, I mean, Central Oregon, we have fireplaces, right? We have our chimney sweep. They come every year. It's scheduled. They come out. They
Yep.
take care of everything. And I'm just like, in the roofing industry, we need to be doing this.
Right.
Gutters need to be cleaned.
Yes.
Shower
That's
heads.
definitely the
You do it for your water heater.
Right.
You do it for your AC. but
Why
your
are we
roof
not?
is so much more important than all of those.
It's your biggest
And-
asset.
It,
I
it
mean,
covers your house. It's what
Yeah,
you
what
get
protects.
inside.
Yeah.
You know, it's the biggest expense you'll probably have, and you forget about it.
yeah.
Yeah. I always say that short of your concrete, which is not going to change, your roof probably, especially on commercial properties, your roof is probably the very next one,
Yeah.
cost wise. And what's I going to say? Yeah, no, I think one thing I thought of sales reps, that might be the big factor is who's going to come up to set yourself apart? Who's going to come up with the options, spend the time with the customer
Correct.
to come up with those options to, oh,
Right.
I've had two other guys out. Nobody thought of this or spent
Well,
the
and
time
that's
to do
what
such.
exactly that's like the one thing that we really talk about. Our whole goal is to slow down the sales process, right? We want to take more
Need-
time, like you said,
Yeah.
because
Time
we're
with them.
finding that if we sit and speak with a homeowner and get to understand what is it that you're really needing from this roof, like what are your long-term goals? Are you
Yeah.
going to be here a long time? Are
More
you
meaningful
planning?
Right.
Correct. Where how can I bring you the most value add while bringing you something that's going to be protective but
Yeah.
beautiful and
That's all anybody
Yeah.
wants is bang for
correct.
their buck.
I want to know that I'm
Yes.
getting
As much
something.
bang for their buck as they can get.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
bringing me value, and that's
Mhm.
that's worthwhile that I need.
I
But-
think so.
Mhm.
What I'm hearing is all of you just really looking at your businesses, making sure everything, the systems and processes, but also I'm really hearing relationships
Yes.
with those customers and taking the time to make those happen
Yes.
to build that long term. I love that. Okay, let's talk about one of the big things that's out there right now, as we all know, and that is workforce. Getting our workforce, immigration.
They're out there.
Yeah.
Workforce is out there. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are
We're
they?
You said,
You know.
you said we know they're out there. Where?
You just gotta find them.
Not in our market.
Yeah.
We got
And with things that are going on with immigration, it's kind of scary out there where our workforce is sometimes scared to come to work.
You're
A lot
right.
of different things. It's really things. So I would love just what are you doing as a company to not just recruit but to retain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a pretty incredible retention rate. We have people that have been there 5, 7, 10, 11
Wow.
years.
Wow.
And for an exterior business, now mind you, we're a little bit unique because we have in-house installers. We also work with subs. So
Okay.
just to kind of set the table there. But so some of our in-house installers, some of those foremen have been with us for over 10 years.
My word.
And I think I'm going to go right back into it's relationship based,
Mhm.
right? If you take care of your people, they are going to take care of the business.
Every
Yes.
time.
And I also think, I love that. I think one of y'all said that it's an ownership mentality when you're out there, right?
Right.
You're empowering your people to make decisions as though it is their business. They have the confidence to go out and if something needs to be fixed on the job site, my foreman has the ability to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, we'll take care of this," right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's our job back in the office to say, "Hey, is there a trend here? Do we need to fix a process?"
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But I think when it comes to your workforce, and I'll say, we've got hit pretty hard on the commercial side of things. We actually have a job going on right now that is behind schedule because there were supposed to be 20 people that showed up. And this is a large commercial job. We're not in charge of all of it. We're doing the exterior, but there were supposed to be 20 people that showed up to frame this so we could do the roof this week. And 4 people showed up because they're scared.
Wow.
And especially in Minnesota, there's a
Yeah.
lot going on there right now. And so people in general, so what we're trying to do is stay on the offense, plan for those things. I'm the person that we contact if ICE or anybody shows up because we want to be having good conversations about
Yes.
it. But I think also diversifying your workforce, right? So I can't just go with the
Correct.
one sub I've always had
Yes.
forever because I might have to switch over, so just to making
Yes.
sure that we have enough out there.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Backing up.
Looking for more
Yes.
and more subcontractors that we can utilize and making sure that we have multiple ones there
Yes.
and trying to build those relationships and give them what they need or the training they need
Yeah.
but I think what you were talking about having, I think the big key, because I mean, we're not quite there yet to where we're actually looking for crews, and employees yet,
Yeah.
but we're anticipating that. And so what we're looking at is how do we build a mission statement for our company? How do we build that culture? How do we build something that the younger generation that's coming up, because they want a purpose. They don't want
They
to just come
do.
and make a paycheck, right?
Yes.
They're looking for what
Yes.
else is this company going to give me? What else can they help me feel like I'm doing something good or giving back or
Yes.
whatever? And so we're really
Right.
trying to create that brand and create
Yeah.
that company now so that we can attract that, because that's what it seems like
Yeah.
you guys were able to do. You've got
Yeah.
very successful cultures
Yeah.
in
You said
those
it, culture.
companies, right?
Culture is huge
And
right
I would
now.
absolutely say that was Raincoat's kind of turning point, was when she
Sure.
really started to commit to the culture, to our core values, and to the
Yes.
message that we were trying to, get across. And it's investing in your employees. It's
Mhm.
investing in not just their financials, paying a livable wage and benefits and whatnot, but it's being able to say, I can help you when you need help.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
giving them the opportunity
Personal,
to have
emotional.
education. It's
Yes.
giving them the opportunity to gain, but also you gain as the employer, as the contractor, because you now have a more valuable employee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's the culture, I would say, is the number one thing that we have to focus on for retention. is
Yeah.
culture.
It's,
And that's interesting because the one thing that like there was a mindset shift in our office
Mhm.
probably a year and a half ago, and part of it was I'm like we spend so much time with our coworkers, right?
Yes,
Like
you
so
do.
much time.
Yes.
And so how do we make sure that everybody that works with us enjoys working with us? And so, something that I do is every person that comes across me in a day, if they're sitting across my desk, whatever it is they're coming in with, I want to make sure they feel valued, heard, and when they walk out, I want them to be better than when they walked in.
yeah.
Even if they're
Right.
having a great day, I want to make it even
Even
better.
better.
I love
Right?
that. I
But
love
if
That is
that.
they're having a
wonderful.
rough day, providing the space to be able to say, like, listen,
Yeah.
I can't have the 3-hour conversation,
Right.
obviously, but providing a safe space to be able to like, hey, what's going on? Because you're safe in here and you can
Let
let
them
that
have
out.
the voice for it.
And
Yeah.
then they turn around and they're like, wow, my employer really values me.
Yeah. Cares about me.
And that's what that younger generation is
Exactly.
looking for.
Yes.
But they
Yes.
can sense it when it's not in a culture.
Oh, if it's
When
not
it's just,
authentic,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
know.
authenticity, once again,
Yes.
it's
Well,
Again,
it's
key.
always going to shine through. If
Be
it's not
real.
authentic and
Yes.
it's not truly in the soul of how you operate,
Yes.
it's going to shine through. If
Yeah.
you are a bad contractor, if you're a
Yes.
bad employee, if you're a bad boss, if you're bad anything like
Yep.
that, there's only so much you can do to say this is what you
Yes.
do. Show
Actions.
this is what
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I'm a big proponent of, you can't practice something while you look down your nose at it. You have to believe in it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you'll see it.
Yeah.
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 Tim, what are you seeing?
Well, I would say to add to a couple of things. One, we also have 1099 and W-2
Right.
workforce, especially in the multi-state side of things. I will say taking care of your employees, but building relationships. So Tommy Mello, that is Garage Store, I love Garage Store. So he's a mentor and friend, and he just said the other day they have done some studies, and 82% of Americans will stay employed somewhere because they have friends there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the benefits, but because I have my
Yes.
friends there. So he said, if you don't think, and that's the culture he's building, he said, if you wanna really start seeing your culture shift, buy a grill and start cooking breakfast
Yeah.
or lunch.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've already
Yes.
been doing that. So we do,
I
so,
love it.
so the last Friday of every month, all year, we're like, hey, the shop's open. So
Oh,
whether it's our subs, our vendors, whoever, customers can come by. And so yeah,
That's
I
great.
thought that was a really
that's
cool
great.
statistic for us
I
Yeah,
love
it
that.
to keep in mind. Yeah.
That was
So,
82%.
yeah, it's like 82, 84%. He's like, stay employed.
Substantial.
That's
He
a
said, why
lot.
stay? He's like, tell me it's not important to
Well, it's
break
like,
bread and to have
you're
events
right.
and to have, this guy has no kids and he's just got engaged. He's
Yeah.
a $350 million garage store company. He's like, he has a, huge home. He's
Yeah.
like, it's for my employees. I want them over there
Yeah.
and having parties and really taking care of his employees.
Yeah.
So
I love
he's an
that.
awesome mentor.
You know what's interesting, Tim? I love that, what you just said, because one of our strategies for the coffee shop, because you got to imagine we have young 20 somethings all over the country working remote, writing about roofing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the easiest thing for a 20-year-old.
Bring everybody for a Christmas party, and it's a little.
I'm just saying. And so that has been our full philosophy is we want them to build friendships in the industry. And I think that's why coming to these kind of shows, I mean, I think about
Yes.
Sarah and Megan knowing each other. You guys know Alex, right? You know, it's like
Yes.
we're building these relationships and friendships, and all of a sudden they're like, well, I don't want to go anywhere else. Roofing is actually cool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What can, you know,
That's
all the
funny you
different
say
things.
that. I don't remember who I was talking to. I think it was at National Women in Roofing Days. And we really talked about that moment where like you take a step back and it's like you have friends and you look forward to these moments.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
sit down and catch up and have a conversation with them and you suddenly realize that you know the person that I know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and it really is one big community. And I think
Mhm.
there's something to be said about how welcoming and how just how much the
And how
roofing community
encouraging they
just
are.
wants
Yes.
to see everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do. Yes.
I've never come across a moment where it's like, get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's never been anything but building up and pushing out and really trying to see the best in everybody else
Yeah.
and really trying
Yeah.
to get the best out of everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because
Well,
it's easy
It's
to say,
raising the bar in the industry.
it's
Yeah.
easy
That's
to say,
literally
great
what we're
job,
doing.
keep it up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's even harder to see somebody who's doing well and to see that they need support too, even when
Yes.
they're doing well.
Yes. Yeah.
So the roofing community really truly is a home for I think a large amount of contractors.
I think it is. I
Yeah.
think the thing is, it's a hard job. What you all do every day and what your teams in the field do is hard work and not the best weather, right? You know,
Yes.
depending. And so it really, I think the roofing industry, because of that, we've had to work harder to build the relationships, to build the culture of the roofing industry because it's hard to get people in. But once they're in, then we're like, ha,
Yeah.
now you'll never leave
That's
You're
right.
right.
because
Yes.
you love
Very
it.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
true.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through things. Okay. And Zane, we're close, right? 10 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Yay. I don't have my phone here. So I was kind of like going, okay. So I had the next question I'm really interested to hear from all of you. And we kind of touched on it with the economy, but I think there's a lot more to it. I just want to hear you are all leaders or owners in your company. I know I every year look at the year and I'm like, I have my goals of what I need to do to take my business to that next level. I'm really curious what your goals are into this year. What are some of the things you're really focusing on to see success into the coming year? And I'm actually going to start here because we
Yeah.
started over there a couple
All
times.
right.
So
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Start with
What are some of the things that what are you looking at 2026 to really accomplish?
Well, our biggest goal, especially since we are fairly new, we're going to market. And we really are utilizing all the data and all the information and all the software that's out there that we really want to focus on how do we market ourselves? And more importantly, how do we create something that's unique and different? We want that authenticity. We want our brand to shine. We want our story to shine. And we really are focusing on how do we become creators of something instead of we're not looking to the side about competition because, like you said, it's not about competing against everyone else. It's about how are we going to create our own story and our own vision and our own company. And so we really are marketing and utilizing social media because there is that's where we're getting most of our
Yes.
leads
Yeah,
from
right.
really
Yeah.
is a lot of that. They want to see who we are. They
Mhm.
want to know what we do and we're utilizing that to give back in our community and to continue to create that brand and that vision that we want to make. So that's
I-
kind of what we're focusing on
Yeah.
this year.
I love it. You know, one of the things I always say is take down the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Don't look behind you. Look
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
You
Yes.
don't,
Yeah.
you don't drive looking in
In
that.
our,
Yeah.
in
Or you
our
shouldn't.
personal
Yeah,
lives.
exactly. And our friend, let's just
All the
go. Let's
ladies
just
do
go.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's coming from us today.
exactly.
I was like, you don't? Well, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I got three daughters, so
Oh,
Yes. You know.
yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
what are you really focused on this year as part of some of your goals?
So our goals this year are very tightly tied into 2025. We spent a lot of time in 2025 digging in and really learning to understand the business, what every number means, what all of our metrics should be, creating different scorecards and things like that. So in 2026, I think it's going to be for us a test to see if all of that effort and time that we built or we put into 2025 is successful because we've got very specific, very isolated goals. We have a very good, true picture on how we're going to achieve those goals based on trends and things that we learned and set in place in our business in 2025.
I
So
love it. Love
2026
it.
is
Yeah.
going to be the test to see if 2025 time was well spent. And
Yeah.
I think that it is. I think that we have a truly great year ahead of us.
That's great. I love that. I love that. Tim.
I'm in a similar spot. So 2025 was definitely a building year. So there was a lot more foundational stuff below the surface you're not going to see right now. And I would say three things. Watching the data. I've really learned how important I was lucky enough to survive and grow for 23 years or more data without really watching data.
Yeah.
Let's just be
Yeah.
honest. There was no
Yes.
so really watching the data. My new term, always be, everyone says always be selling, it's always be recruiting. Always be
Oh,
Always be
recruiting.
recruiting. Yeah.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for where I'm at and what we're doing on the commercial and multi-state big relationships. We are looking for, I have to be recruiting the specialists and I want those subject matter experts. Literally, I want to just do the ads as if you have extensive experience in commercial roofing, we need to talk. And then
Yeah.
obviously
Love it.
long-term incentive plans, taking care of employees, showing them, some of my packages now I'm giving them consulting with some of the guys
Oh,
I
yeah.
consult with, and
Yeah.
so self-improvement, making sure that they're reading books and
Yeah.
they're elevating their game. So
I found that so much. I'm with you. I'm with you there.
I think
That's a bit.
2026 can be a good year.
Yeah,
Yes.
it never
Right.
ends. It never ends that way.
Yeah. So I think for us in 2026, one of the big initiatives that we started towards the end of 25 was taking meetings are sometimes just meetings about meetings. And I feel like there's a lot of time wasted in that. And so what I did is I started to change the environment of some of those meetings, cancel some of them because really we can be more effective. This could be an email,
This
not
could
an
have been an email.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't need to pull the sheet
Scorecard.
together. This could have been an email. Yeah, you're right. Scorecard.
Yeah.
Scorecard
But
sent out.
I think one thing that is interesting that we're going to continue to focus on in 26 is interdepartmental problem solving.
Yeah.
Right? Because we get so segmented in our businesses. This is sales. This is production. This is, front office. This is accounting. This is well then it's difficult sometimes when there's an issue here that affects them all for them departments, not just at the management level or leadership level, but also your employees to just work with each other to problem solve.
Yeah.
So I'm literally bringing these managers into a room saying, let's talk about your frustrations.
Yeah.
Right. And we're writing them down and we're saying, okay, we're going to just authentically show up and be real and talk about these problems. We're not going to be like, oh,
Everything's great.
this
Yeah.
sales guy, this, or
Oh, yeah.
Employees.
Right.
I
Stop
hate
telling me
that.
how you
Yeah.
love employees.
yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then the interesting thing is, to wrap that in, that dives right into suddenly my managers are cross departmentally communicating, and it's building the culture within the company.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I don't have to be the only one
Yes.
doing
Yes.
this, right?
Yes.
So, and very quickly I'll say my production manager, I was so proud of him because he just decided not to hire somebody because they weren't going to be a good culture fit.
Oh,
We've
nice.
never done that,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
right?
It's
Yeah.
So
That's
when you want
awesome.
to
That
talk
is
about
important.
changing your culture, it's investing in those department heads, those leadership level people, bringing them to things like this,
That's great.
investing them in NWIR or ECA or any of those things. But I think so for us, it's a very employee staff based focus this year.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're doing that too.
Yeah.
Already
Well, because
Yes.
it's hard to
Yeah.
find labor, you definitely
You
want to
don't wanna
retain
lose
what
it.
you
Yeah.
have,
Exactly.
because then you're
Yeah.
going backwards.
Right. And by the time you train someone to totally understand your business, especially when you do something a little bit different like we do, you don't want to have to lose them and retrain
Right.
them. And
Yeah.
so, but I also don't think you can grow unless you do this cross training.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, as we're growing, I'm realizing some of the, you think it's the right thing and you kind of watch the, more of the traditional org chart
Yep.
meetings, that
Yep.
type of stuff. And I've realized Tommy Mello really helps me realize this, he's running a massive operation and he's a real guy. He talks about real,
Yeah.
it's
That's great.
you can really save a lot. And I think, you need that call out environment. You need
Absolutely.
everybody pushing the same direction.
Right.
Which brings me to like
Right.
long-term incentive plans and things
Yes.
that are, you want more company goals. We're focused more on company goals right now than we are individual goals
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everyone needs to be pushed in the same direction.
Right. Well,
Yes.
those
We need to
individual
understand how
goals should
important
support your company goals.
they should.
Everything should be built from the ground up. And I think that if you can create a clear vision for all of
Yes.
your employees, it's easier to align those individual
Yeah.
goals to benefit the company
Yeah.
and your
I-
customers in turn. You know?
Yeah, I think it's so true. I love it.
Yep.
Okay, just rapidly, I just have one other question. It's actually going to kind of circle back to the beginning, but I'm just really kind of interested, besides technology, because I know you all are going to leave here and you go straight to the tech and talk to all the technology people. I would love to hear, as you guys are going into look at the floor and talk to everybody, what is the material? What is the roofing material that you're most interested in either adding to your offering or that getting more information and kind of making that a bigger part of your business? I'm kind of interested in which products. I know.
She's got
I am a woman on a mission in this room.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sidestep material. So I think financing with all the insurance changes is huge, right? And we do offer financing currently, but I think it's getting better. And so every year I make it a point at IRE to stop by all the financing booths.
Yes.
And I used to be in finance, so I get a little bit inquisitive to them.
I love it.
See well,
Oh,
but
that's fantastic.
so the one thing I'm really looking at is as insurance, the insurance market changes, we all feel that. Financing is going to become extremely important.
Yes.
Oh,
and
yes.
so
Huge.
that's my go-to. I'm going in there and I'm going to go quiz them.
I
love that.
love it.
Yes.
I love it. That is awesome. Tim.
Oh goodness. Well, materials. I mean, I'm starting to think back, like what, 10 years ago when I
Yeah.
said coatings was like, what,
Right.
you have to figure out, and they've died down a little bit,
Yeah.
and they have their place, and I'll leave it there. I mean, they do have their place, and we've used some.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be systems, if it's going to be value engineering, some of the commercial,
Sure.
getting the longevity. As I learn more about large commercial, people that have large portfolios, and we're working with huge clients in that aspect, learning how are we going to value engineer?
Yeah,
What can we bring them that is going to get them the same life expectancy for less money and
Right.
not cause problems such as like an SPF or something that is just going to cost them more money down the road. So like retrofits, recovers,
Restoration. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I love it. Sarah.
One of the big things I was really kind of paying attention to when I was in there was the availability of the products that they're releasing. Because if I've got to pay $1,000 in freight to get the material I need to use, that's a lot of money to have to offset someplace else in order for my customer to not have to take on that extra expense. So if it's great. All of the manufacturers have a lot of good products and things, and every contractor has their favorite. But if I can't get it when I need it, or it's going to cost me twice as much to get
To
it,
ship it,
I'm going to reconsider because
Yeah.
that cost has to go someplace.
Yep.
It's either going to be eaten by the company and then your margins go down, or you're going to have to give it to the customer, and that might make or break the sale.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I want to see how
I
many
love it.
different
good.
manufacturers are getting into supply houses and how hard they're working to make their product available.
Yeah. I
where
love it.
they're
Ashley,
stopping. It's a big
real
factor,
quick,
like
just
Rob
bring
said.
us home.
Mostly it's once again for us, it's all the design, it's the synthetic, it's the metal, it's the unique
I
options that
love
are
it.
out there and the
Yes.
colors that are coming up with and the ways that, like you were saying, you can
Right.
make your own color now. I mean,
Yes,
you
you
can have your
can.
own
Yeah.
unique color on your roof. So
Yeah.
that's what we've really spent some time looking at is what other options are there that we can use that bring a unique look.
I love it. Manufacturers, I hope you heard all this.
Yeah.
I guess.
We love you. This is what they want. This is what they want. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks for having us.
How fast did that hour go?
It was
Yeah.
really
Great conversation. I know. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. We're going to do the exact same conversation. Well, not exactly. Karen Edwards will be hosting tomorrow as we bring the manufacturers, distributors, service providers here to talk about these same type of issues. We are also going to be back right after this coffee conversations with a live roofing road trips talking about the upcoming IBEX show. That everybody will all get back together again. again. And
Yeah.
so it will be so much fun. Thank you so much. Please be sure to share this out with all of your friends and everyone at your work. This is the kind of stuff that can really help you grow your business. These are the experts. I hope you had a chance to really take some great notes and take some nuggets home. Thank you so much. We'll be seeing